Okay, let's start at the very bottom. Very bottom of this. Ooh, I think this is gonna be controversial. Y'all ain't gonna like this. Y'all not gonna love what I have to say. Y'all, I know a lot of y'all. Curse La Llorona. That's the worst one, Chris. It's so bad they had to decanonize it and all that. The Nun is the worst one. You had unbelievable potential with this first Nun movie. You could have had it be a film that brought the Nun to a status where she's a new horror icon because she was the most frightening thing about The Conjuring Part 2. And what did you do with all that potential? The climax of this movie is Jesus's blood. Jesus's blood defeated her temporarily because she come back. Huh? Okay. So, no, I'm not doing it. Just for the sheer anger I feel towards them doing that, none there. Then Curse of La Llorona. I think this might be a bias because growing up Mexican, La Llorona is basically like the boogeyman for little kids. It's the thing they tell you in the urban legends. Te va a agarrar La Llorona. Ay, you hear us? La puedes escuchar. Está chillando la pinche vieja. And so I'll do it for that, just for the attachment. But dude, drop the ball on it also. Should have leaned in to the Hispanic heritage side of it. Made a white woman instead. Well, although it was Velma. It was Velma, so I'll give them that. But they botched it. But this was also, and no offense to him, this was the movie that was so glorious. They said, this Michael Chavez guy? Give him 5 more Conjuring movies. He did that good. This movie didn't exist. We might not have had more, you know? So, La Llorona, down there. Then I'm gonna go the first Annabelle. It's really again almost wasted potential. I'm so surprised after the Nun being boo, La Llorona boo, and that first Annabelle boo. How did people keep showing up to these Conjuring movies to where even this new Conjuring film coming out this weekend, it's about to break the box office record for highest opening of a Conjuring film. So even some of these bad films, the tolerance I think is so low for just general audiences. As long as there was a jump scare or creep them out a little bit, I had a good time. Annabelle, I thought just wasn't that good. It was more they could have done with it. Okay. From here, I think is where we start getting into the okay movies. The movies I think were like, okay, it's not bad, but it could definitely be better. The Devil Made Me Do It. The Devil, this is such a fascinating movie to me because the whole concept of this is you could be someone who believes in demons and ghosts and all this paranormal stuff, right? And you watch these movies and you're scared by them. I saw so many viral videos on TikTok of like, and smart marketing by Warner Brothers, where they hired real priests with holy water and Bibles so that audience members going into the movie were blessed right before. And those videos, I'm not even kidding. I saw one with like 10 million views and all the comments going, oh, this is too much. Oh my God, I was going to see it, but not now. And I'm like, shut up, Weenie Hut Jr. No, it's for real, Chris. You watch these movies and you invite evil into. Shut up. Shut up. Oh, that's the pick me people. That's the pick me people. No, for real. We saw the movie once and then I saw a tissue move, dude. For real. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm not a huge skeptic. I believe in it to a degree, but I do believe some people just like, no, it's for real. My cousin, he saw it once. Anyways, what I mean by this though is if you're on the other side of that and you're a skeptic, the premise of this one is crazy because it's a real life case of a guy who committed a murder and then said to the court, devil made me do it. Devil made me do it. And whatever side you fall on, believing this guy actually was possessed by the devil and did that because the devil told him, or this was just a crazy guy using an insane excuse to get out of murder, it was a tough film to go through because you have to sympathize with the guy who's supposedly possessed. Because in this world, we're believing this stuff is real, but you also have to be with like, this guy might have just been a really bad guy. And now we're trying to make him kind of the misunderstood hero. Okay. That with just the stuff involving the Warrens, not all that memorable. I don't think it was a bad film. I just think it was a nothing movie. It was just kind of like, could have been something. Could have been something. So, um, then, oh, I do need to add that, and that's actually perfect because that's what I was looking for next. Then I'm going in and adding in Nun 2. All right. Look, much better improvement over the last one. And I know some of y'all are gonna think I'm crazy for putting it over one of the Conjuring movies, but I really do think at least they actually tried doing something interesting. The Nun was semi-scary. There was a crazy end battle. They tried doing in some lore connecting and setting up for other stuff. To me, I liked it more for how it was kind of building out the universe and setting it up. And again, nothing amazing, nothing on top. But as far as like the last movie just not being memorable, I at least remember the ending of The Nun 2 and how crazy that all went and the stuff that went down. So I can't even tell you a scene that went down and the devil made me do it. That's why I put it above that. Okay. Next up, ooh, this is kind of hard now. Now we're getting into the mash and meat potatoes of it all. I think from here, I'm going to go. I think Conjuring the Last Rites is right where it needs to be. I think I'm going The Conjuring Last Rites. Look, I ended up liking this movie because at least it was memorable. There was more scenes that were actually pretty creepy. The dad, there's a dad levitates in this scene that's pretty creepy. There's a cereal scene, also pretty creepy. Um, but I think the thing that really saved this movie for me was the character development with the Warrens, with focusing on them as a family, them retiring, coming to the end of their career, what the world looks like for them. That part of me is what saved this movie and actually made it feel like a good closing off for them, and that made it enjoyable for me enough to where I liked it. But man, it's still nowhere near the heights that Conjuring 1 and 2 were, and it makes you want better for this world because of how good James Wan did with the first, and it just makes you go like, why do they keep giving it to Michael Chavez? I get he's got a keen eye for some setups. There were some good setups, and there was a phone scene with like a cord in there I thought was creepy, but so much of it is so generic and overdone, and this you also felt the runtime play out in this movie. Okay, next, honestly, this might be the permanent order moving forward. Next up, I do put Annabelle Comes Home. It's so funny to me that there's people who prefer Annabelle Comes Home over Annabelle Creation. I think it's the night at the museum vibes and kind of like the sleepover fear. It's a good little like short, quick and easy, scary story. And the Warrens are involved. You have Judy there, and even the beef Judy has with Annabelle in this movie carries over to Conjuring 4, which I think is kind of funny. But at the end of it all, while I really enjoyed it, I just don't think it was as effective and as scary as Annabelle Creation, which I put above this one. I think Annabelle Creation was awesome. Really showed that David F. Sandberg has a future in horror. Kind of let me down with Until Dawn, but I'm willing to give him another shot with whatever horror movie he does next. But Annabelle Creation, I thought was genuinely frightening. I even would say Creation is up to James Wan level of the Conjuring universe, where at this cutoff point, going up, Creation and above, these are the great Conjuring movies. My opinion. My opinion. Then I do Conjuring 2. Good movie. Really awesome. The first Conjuring. Obvious reasons. That's my ranking right there for The Conjuring. Read them and weep, boys. Read them and weep. All right. Thank you for that. I hope you all enjoyed that.